I'm Dr. Patrick Cod. I'm a neurosurgeon and ordained Zen Buddhist priest. I'm also the practice director of the Grass Hut Zen Sangha, a Zen sitting group in Durham, North Carolina. I just wanted to invite you to come join me for some meditation, really an opportunity to sit and take a pause in life right now. It's particularly important amidst all the difficulties that we're facing. And I think it's an opportunity to sort of come together as a community, sit for a few moments and just be with what's going on for us right now, the thoughts and our feelings. So I hope you'll come join us no matter where you are, whether or not you're here in Durham or across the world. Feel free to join us. I just wanted to take an opportunity to give a little bit of instruction on how to do sitting meditation in the Zen style called Zazen. And Zazen loosely translates as just sitting. It's a deceptively simple practice and sort of the gateway to a meditative practice that really can unfold over the course of an entire lifetime. But I wanted to kind of tell everyone how you might be able to do this at your home or in your office or wherever it is that you find yourself in life right now amidst all the things going on in the world. This might be an opportunity to just sit for a few moments, meditate, and kind of just be with yourself and see what's coming up for you. So why don't we get started? Really the practice starts by the posture. And this is sitting upright where we have two knees sit here crossed. Right now I'm cross-legged. I have my feet in front of me. Sometimes people can put their legs up on their thighs in various positions. I find that pretty uncomfortable. I just keep my two feet right here on the floor and I tuck them up underneath me so that my knees are positioned here on the floor. I'm sitting on a cushion, which looks like this. Anything you have at home is fine. A pillow, something from your couch, your bed pillow, anything that'll give you a little support behind your back. You just put that right up under here, and you're sitting on the front third of that cushion, so you're kind of creating a tripod where your back and your butt are sitting in one place, your knees are holding the position in front of you, and you have a firm base on which to be able to do the meditation. Then really has to do with your back and your head. You want to sit within an upright posture and imagine that there's a string hanging from the top of your head from the ceiling, pulling up. Hold you straight up like this. Your ears stay in line with your shoulders. And by doing that, you can kind of hold that space throughout your meditation. Now, with your hands, we do something called the cosmic mudra, and that's essentially just taking your left hand here, put it in the palm of your right hand, let it rest nicely here on your lap. You can let your arms relax on your legs, and then you just touch your fingertips of your thumbs together, just like this. And you imagine that you're holding an egg within that space of your hands, and your fingertips are touching with just enough force to be able to hold a piece of paper so it doesn't just fall out. You're not crushing your fingers together and not letting them drift apart, but you're keeping your hands here in the center. It brings everything together so that as one, you have a steady base, a firm position, and your hands are gently held here. And this form holds the entire practice in one space so that you can just exist with what's coming here without needing to have your body all over the place. When you have this, we keep our head upright. The gaze falls about 3 feet in front of you, and it's just a passive gaze, as if you're trying to stare almost through the floor. And we keep our eyes slightly open. That keeps us here in the moment. We're not trying to close our eyes and escape from what's coming or hide from our thoughts or what's arising in our mind, but we're simply letting our eyes fall passively forward to the ground in front of us and just being present with exactly what's coming up right here, right now. There are several different ways that you can use to sit as well, not just with a cushion. Sometimes people are more comfortable sitting in a chair, which is totally fine. You just sit on the front edge of the chair with your feet flat on the floor and your knees forward in that same upright posture. That's often works well for folks. Sometimes even just sitting on a stool, or if even the discomfort you may experience in your legs or your back is too much, you can simply stand and just hold that posture and that intent just as you're standing there. There are many ways to sort of approach this. I've found sitting on a cushion to be helpful, but you need to do what makes the most sense for your body and what feels most comfortable there. This is not an aesthetic practice. It's not trying to fight your way through a bunch of pain. We do watch and see the arisings of the feelings in our bodies, how our knees or our back are feeling, what's going on with our chest and our abdomen. Those are parts of the feelings that arise for us in meditation, but it's not trying to fight our way through a bunch of pain. So you need to do what makes the most sense for your own body size and shape. But once we've sort of created that space of holding the position upright, holding this posture, really we then turn toward the breath. And this often sits at the very heart of the meditation practice that we're doing. And what I would try is breathe. We're really going to count to 10 with our breathing. You breathe in and count 1, and you're breathing in deep into your belly here. Breathe out 2. Breathe in 3. Breathe out 4. And it's that cycle of breathing in and out as we're counting that will form the core of the practice. Now, as thoughts arise while you're counting those things, it may be any number of feelings or thoughts that come up and interrupt that pattern of counting. Those aren't problems. That is the practice itself, or watching what comes up for the mind, recognizing it and letting it go without judgment, and then returning back to the breathing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we always have thoughts arise. The rising of thoughts is not the problem. And there is no problem. It is simply this practice of us sitting here watching what arises in our own minds and our bodies in this space right now, recognizing it, allowing it to be exactly what it is without judgment, and then returning right back to this posture and the breath and this present moment, back to 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, this practice you can take for any amount of time that makes sense for you. Often when you're starting, it's difficult to sit for a long period of time. Simply try a minute, 2 minutes, or even 5 minutes to begin with. That's a very normal place to begin with, just to see the experience and what it's like. And as time goes on, you may find that you want to meditate longer, 10 or 15 minutes. I will typically sit for somewhere between 25 and 30 minutes, but you do what you're able to do within the space of your day and your life. Sometimes even 30 seconds in the elevator ride down is enough to kind of recenter and come back and watch what's coming up for you. And that's entirely enough. This is a practice that, as you can see, is quite simple in terms of what the setup of it is, but the depth in which and the character of it is incredibly complex and beautiful and encompasses the entire life. It's happening right here for you. It's really something I encourage you to dive into and just see what it is that's arising for you. But let's take a few minutes and do just a minute of meditation together so you can get a sense for what that looks like. Please let me know if I can ever be of assistance to you. Again, you can look us up on the web. It's Grass Hut Zen Sangha with the Duke community down in Durham, North Carolina. And feel free to reach out anytime if there are any questions or concerns about your practice or how to dive into this. I'm always available.